All right, we are live, Gerry. Yeah, put your best smile on. I dressed up for the occasion. Gerry did not. Matter of fact, I think you wore that last night, huh? Did you
No,
sleep?
I had the white T-shirt on last night.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the
This
customer
one,
shirt.
this one you can't see; it's camouflage. So
Right, we can't see Gerry at all. Welcome, everybody. Looks like we got Matt in there trying to bust some balls. Busting his own balls, actually, is what it looks like to me. Yeah, before we dive into the people on the right here, we'll just kind of go through a recap of our weeks, and then we'll kind of talk about some things that I stumbled across, which some people may have heard, may know already. Market is down 100 points right now, which it happened, I don't know, I say in the last 15, 20 minutes. Looks like crypto is kicking ass right now. It's up 18%, almost
nice.
19%. So if anybody's in crypto, congratulations to you. You better get the hell out of it. No, just kidding. Do whatever you
It's going to zero.
want. I came close to buying a little bit right when it dropped below 30,000, but it is up right now. Right now, it's up 19%. So that's crazy. All right, let me do a recap before we go through the list here. We'll let kind of people file in and Johnny come latelys and all that stuff. But I actually had a pretty good week. And so let me look here. Where the hell am I looking for, Gerry?
Probably
All
your
right.
fancy spreadsheet.
Yeah. So I did take off $1,700 in premium, realized premium last week. The number one spot was Amazon, $544, which I'll talk about here at the end of my big old spiel. Took off my CCLs. Those were long leaps. And I actually added 2 on Monday with the market drop that we had. So I had a 6 total leaps. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, CCL popped up big time. And looking at a chart, it looked like it was going to stop right around the 200 period moving average, which was 23 and some change. So I dumped it at 23 on the dot, pretty much right there. Made $420. You know what I mean? Qs, took off some Qs, $258 there. Netflix took off that, got a spread on that. $146 there. RK, 125. Tesla, $78. TQQQ, 69. Good old SPY, $45. NDX SPX, I had 2 of those. I had 2 spreads on, $19. I just wasn't feeling it, and we'll talk about that in a second as well. So $1,700 realized, and that's I'm up $4,700 for the month so far, and I expect to be above 5,000. I'll probably take off a little bit more premium this week, get above $5,000, and I'm up $35,000 for the year in realized profit. I do have buying power is about 50K used. I think that's about 18%. Let's see here, about $3,000 premium bacon. If you take out the long calls that I have and the long short that I have, is that right? No, long put. Long put that I have on, which is a Tesla strangle. And I actually do have, I bought another CCL, but I went with a 15 strike this time. It was still lower than my original initial purchase of those 6 that I had. It was still even lower than that. So starting to get back into it again. I still think it's cheap. So why not put one in there? Drops down. We have another 700 point down day. I'll add another one. So I do have RUTs on right now. I have a RUT spread on. I don't know if I'll be doing that one again either. And I do have Palantir, and as you can see, Palantir is going to zero. So what a trash stock that one is. Just not a big fan of it. I just not really feeling it. It is overvalued, but I still think that, right around this 22 and some change or whatever is a pretty good price, despite that it's still overvalued. That's where it's been trading probably around the most. And even, I guess, if you look at like a VWAP or whatever the hell you call it, or a vol profile, 21 to 22-ish. So I'm actually in the money in that piece of shit, but that's okay. I'll probably end up actually taking those shares to 23 strike, and still got 2 weeks left. So if it doesn't pop up, I'll end up taking them. And he's like, Dave, what the hell's going on? You have a zero tolerance strategy. Well, I like to just take them. Why not? My luck is it will probably tank down to 15 or $10 or something once I get them. You'll see. Just watch. So before I rattle off the things that I kind of noticed about Amazon and the other indexes and stuff, I'm going to let Gerry go through all of his stuff, his week, problem childs or whatever, and then his month to date and all that stuff. And then I'll kind of touch on the Amazon thing that I noticed and maybe some of the index stuff as well. So why don't you go ahead and take it off, Gerry?
Well, you better be quick, Dave, because mine's short. It's I had a very slow week. I didn't take hardly anything off. I probably took off 5 positions, put on 5 positions. I think I finally got to that point where all the long DTE stuff that I'm putting on is kind of ran out of steam, where I'm just setting up for next month, and my July is mostly probably done. So I did a CCL leap, got out of that in like 4 days for $120 or something like that. That was the highlight of my week. Other than that, it's been just I've been trying to build out. I'm starting to build out toward the end of August and even into September, trying to put on some things there. Sitting at about 30, I think I'm right at 30% buying power used right now. So I can keep adding. I don't have anything pressing. There's some things that are like right at the edge. I have a lemonade put. I think I got an 85 lemonade put expiring this Friday. That's the only thing left in July. So we'll see. That thing's a little bit pressured. I got Palantir at 21 into August. So just wait for it to tank. Wait to do your thing with it, Dave, until I get out of it. And then you can hold it at 10.
I'm not a bag holder.
I'll probably buy some down there. I'll buy some leaps then. What else? That's it. Oh, XOP. That I have one thing. I have one XOP put in the money. It's an 85 out to August 20th though. So, all this stuff is still way out in time. I don't have anything pressing. It's weird. When I used to sell weeklies a lot and I used to take off things daily, I felt more stressed than I do now.
Really?
And it was stress. I felt more stressed in the market. Now it's kind of just like, I got time. I just saw Thumper put in their TME. That is one thing. Chinese stocks, whew, I got a few leaps on TME that are just being absolutely destroyed by the Chinese Communist Party. And that's probably not going to change anytime soon. But it's a really small position. It's only worth about probably $800. So it's probably only worth about $400 now. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. I'm probably not going to. I'll probably just let it sit, and you got until January 2023 on those leaps. So that's it. That's my update. But I closed out about $350 last week. So
okay, gotcha. So I do have XOP. That's not a problem child, but man, it's a piece of crap, honestly. I mean, it's going down. I mean, CL's up, and then you got XOP that's down. It's like, okay, come on.
I love it. Dave, anytime any option trade goes against Dave, no matter what stock it is, it's a piece of crap.
Pretty much. That's a coin term. I just, I don't like things that don't operate how you think they were. And then you kind of mention it. the other day, whatever. It's exploration, so maybe it won't follow what the CL does. Kind of makes sense. So maybe I need to get into something else instead of XOP for the oil sector. But
XLE would be the
yeah,
one.
maybe XLE. I got to be on meat. Probably won't ever get into those again. It's junk. I did open some Intels. So, which is kind of funny because Thumper did a video on it today, and he's looking at the same strike I put on Friday. So, great minds think alike, right? He basically parrot traded what I did. So, September 3rd, I got a 49 strike. I got 3 of those on right now. And I just, I'm a big believer in what Pat Gelsinger is going to be doing for that company. It's just going to take some time. It could take 2 years, 3 years, or something like that. But, I mean, what did I get for these things? It wasn't honestly a lot of money. I think it was like 47 cents per contract or something like that. So it's not a lot. I'll take that stock too at 49. Probably add more if it goes lower, but.
So everybody listening about Intel, Dave has history on Intel. So if you're thinking about doing options on Intel on Monday, you might want to just take a look, just see what happens, because Dave has a propensity to kind of tank that stock.
Not only was I long 1,000 or 2,000 shares of that stock, I sold puts on it the same exact right before earnings. This is going up. Yeah, so it was a double fuck, right? A double F. I did work for Intel for 2 weeks out of my life, and it was a really bad job. Now it's not anything has to do with Intel; it's just the people. But yeah. Anyways, just a short information there. I am a big believer of Intel, what they're doing. So, all right. Well, before I talk about the other 2 things I wanted to mention real quick, let's go down here and talk, get some shout outs and stuff here. We got Gerry's better half here. Let's see here. Hi, y'all. Got Matt Money in the house, which is, he's definitely busting his own balls. Let's see, another fun-filled night. Absolutely, out of rocks. Let's see, 801. What's he mean by that, Gerry?
It's 801. Time.
801.
The time.
Yeah, put a colon in there. Jeez. Late to the party. No. This is Jomer's in the house. We got Gage. What's going on, Gage? Got John Arnold. What's going on? Got Gino. And let's see here. After Dave showed me these 3. Yeah, what 3 is he talking about? I'll show you mine if you show me yours. All right, let's so here. Matt gonna beat Dave. Maybe. Fat Lady hasn't sung yet. Let's see here. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. You should have your wife do that. Not that she's fat, just because I don't know if she is or not, but so just she'd have a better voice than you would. Okay, here, y'all, great weekend. Any reason for crypto pop? I have no freaking idea. Probably just because people thought it was a big discount below $30,000, and I don't know, not $30,000, $30,000. So market's tanking right now. It's just not like what's going on. Is Hot Lips on the freaking on TV or something?
It's all the vaccination talk this weekend, and
yeah,
shutdown fears are coming back into play, and
I guess I'm a killer, Gerry.
Yeah, same.
Really
here.
sell all your Palantir, Matt. No, Matt would Titanic hands the heck out of that stock all day long. He wouldn't freaking sell that if it was given to him. Let's see here. What's going on, Kyle? Kyle loves us. What's going on? Let's see here. I do what Dave tells me to do. All right. Sell your Wish, your Palantir, your crypto, and your SPCE. Dave keeps saying my luck, my opinion. What happened to our luck? My opinion, our opinion. He told me we'd I don't know. You can be the big spoon. I'll be the little spoon. 10? Is that 10 cent?
10-cent music.
Ooh, Chinese stocks. The only one I was considering getting back into again this week, even though I didn't pull the trigger, back when it was below 200, was Baba.
Baba.
Yeah. So I don't know. Drops below 200 again. I might have to pull the trigger with Matt's money. So, am I Dave safe or Dave now thumper aggressive? Well, I think that you parrot traded me, so you're Dave safe. That was a, let me see, what the heck was that? 21% probably in the money. Maybe I am thumper aggressive. Now that I think
Well,
about
I
it.
was actually looking at the 5250s.
Yeah. Is that crazy?
I don't know.
What? 5150. Sorry, that's crazy. You should get to the
50.
5150s. You know, I just 21% or 20, yeah, 21% probably in the money. It's a 49. I just don't think the stock is going to go down there unless the market turned over. And right now it looks like it's doing that. But I don't know. Who knows? Wake up tomorrow morning, it could be up 500 too. Who knows? Breaking my own rule of doing the opposite of Dave when it comes to, yes, you are. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Lordsdale, what's going on? Damien, what's going on? We got James here. What's evening to you too? We got Carrie laughing at Gerry. Let's see here. What's up, guys? Investing Sensei. He made a video about his options. I called him out on his on his wheels. Just curious, what if he's going to get out of those wheels? He's going to switch up the positions, or maybe even switch up the strategy. There's a flaw to the strategy, the wheel strategy, if you're in junk stocks. Same thing, the colonies, I suppose. Jerry, you want to talk about your colony?
We'll give you an update on Wednesday. You can come see how
All
horrible
right.
it is.
Got Steve here. Yeah, he's definitely not a fan of Palantir, even though he uses it every single day. Smash the like button for the algorithm. Yeah, I don't know if it honestly does anything, but it hurts my feelings when you thumbs down, so make sure you do that. So Dave safe, Thumper aggressive. No, but nobody. It's all good aggressive. I don't know. I love 52 strike on now, or I have 52 strike on now. Yeah, I'm out of 49, so you probably got a bunch of a little more. So let me talk about something I ran into on Monday. That was nobody's ever talked about it. Nobody's ever talked about it. I stumbled upon this on my, my own. So you know what I mean? And I had an Amazon credit spread on, a put credit spread on, okay? So that's a bull spread, right? And everybody knows that when I do my spreads, I'm really wide. It was a 200 wide, I think, is what it was, because I don't really care about the protection. I just want to reduce that buying power. Well, guess what? Amazon tanked pretty good on Monday. So guess what happened to that long put? It went up in value big time. And I ended up taking it off for a $420 gain. And then what, 2 days later, market comes back up. I could put that same put back on for the same thing I originally had bought it for. So I stumbled across that on my own. So I'm like, oh man, this is kind of cool. It's almost like I'm in a strangle on, but it's not, right? So I started thinking maybe I should start doing spreads, bull put spreads on NDX, SPX, and RUT. So I looked at doing that, and yeah, it'll work. If you don't, you almost need to put a spread on. It's a boatload of buying power, like 90K or something like that. So I looked at doing it. I did stick it on the SPX. I did put it on the RUT. I put two SPXs on, but I ended up taking them off. But and the reason why is, and I've talked to Gerry about this. I've talked to James about it. Talked to some other randos about it. And it's just, I'd like to have the option to take the shares if I want them, right? Because I think QQQ, SPX is something I actually wouldn't mind actually taking, but it's cash settled, so you're not going to be taking it. And that kind of scares me. I don't like the defined risk. I don't like the forced loss. Yeah, I could roll them, I suppose, but those things are no joke, in my opinion. And I'm pretty wide on them. I was actually looking like doing a 0.075 on the sold, and then maybe doing like a 0.025 on the bot. So I'm trying to come up with some numbers there to get me where I want to be. Like I said, I don't really care about the protection aspect of it, but still, that was a big loss if it blew through there. You can't take them. You have to roll. And I really like to have the option to take it if I want to. So so that leaves me with SPY, QQQ, IWM, or something like that. Well, there's a flaw with that too. Okay, yeah, I can take the shares, but when you put a spread on those things, and like where I want to be, maybe like 0.075, 0.025, then the buying power is nothing. It's like 500 or something like that. So you got to stick on like 100 of these things to make any damn money, a boatload of money off of them. And then you're looking at a boatload of commissions. So that's the dilemma. I need something that's like an SPX, an NDX, and a RUT, but it's not cash settled. It lets you take it. I don't know, but then again, it's a boatload of money you'd have to be assigned. So I don't know what to do, Gerry.
Well, here's my thought, and I want people to understand too what we're talking about here, because there's a difference when most people that do credit spreads have a smaller account, right? Usually, and what Dave's talking about is not going to be valid for you. You won't be able to do what Dave just said he did, because I'll tell you why. The NASDAQ, I did a NASDAQ spread last week, an NDX spread, I should say. And when you do the spread, right, say you get 100 wide, your max loss is $1,000, right? So that's the margin impact for that spread. If you went 1440 to 14, I don't know, 3 something, whatever it was, how credit spreads work. Well, that spread is your margin impact. Now, if it tanked and you took off that long put for a profit, you can't hold that short put because you won't be able to secure the NDX index on your own, because that's going to be like $140,000 or something like that.
Right.
So you won't, your spread was only 1,000, but if you didn't have that long put down there that you bought, the margin impact would be like 140,000. So you couldn't do that unless you had a larger account and that type of thing. So I did the NASDAQ spread on Monday, took it off a couple days later, something like that, and it worked out really well. I was actually quite surprised of the amount of premium that I got, and it was just a fluke and not a fluke, but it was like perfect storm where I got $100 for a 500 wide spread, right? And that was like on a Monday when everything was tanking. But in normal situations, I just found out that 500 wide spread that I put on really would probably only get you 30-40 cents if you're gonna want to be safe on the strikes,
For
right?
a $500 loss.
Right. So it's just not worth it at that point. But if you, like Dave has portfolio margin, he can actually widen that spread out and get safer. But for a traditional credit spread person, you're going to need to go a lot more closer to the sun. And, it's just, you won't be, if the index tanks, you won't be able to take off that put like Dave did for a profit. You'll have to close out both.
So that brings me to the Qs, the QQQ, SPY, and the IWM. I'll probably end up going back to those. That way it gives me the option to take it if I want to. Have to put a boatload of them on. But I like the whole credit spread option because that gives me the option to buy back those long puts if we have a down market. So that's the whole reason why we do the spreads anyway. Like, I have no other real reason to do them, but I like that aspect of it versus putting on the top side naked calls. I can just, here we go. I can just got those on the bottom and I can take them off and then lock in that money when on a big down day. So right now I'm not really doing that. I don't really have, I don't think I have any spreads on right now. I do have a strangle on. That's it. I have a RUT spread. That's about it. So
the other difference here is if the stock doesn't fall, that thing's going to be just worthless, right?
Yeah.
You've
It's
lost the
just,
money.
but at least I already know what my profit's going to be. Right?
Correct.
So, Billy here, what do you buy writing on? I'm curious. What stock you buy writing on? The index?
Buy
Qs?
right.
SPY?
Wait, what's a buy right collar?
It's just a collar strategy, same thing that Newsie's doing. So I'm assuming he owns a stock and then he's probably just got bought a put and then what? Sold a cover call?
So he's going to sell a cover call, buy the downward put. Gotcha.
Right. So it's protective, right? It's a hedge. Let's see here. We got, tell us what stock you're doing. So we're going to talk about, so I don't know why you're selling Palantir.
Wait,
I
I
don't
thought
think
you
you
just
are.
bought Palantir. I thought he
Yeah,
just
I
bought
don't think
them.
he's selling it. He finally realized it's junk. I mean, even Steve here is even saying it's junk. So hates it, owns it, and uses it every day. So there you go. Person that uses it every day hates it. Matthew, let's see here. I have Microsoft 250 Leap call expiry June 2022. Currently up 72% on the option. Do I walk with my gains or selling calls against the Leap? I'd be out of it and open something new.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I'm running. I'm taking that.
I would just open like a 2023 or something, June 2023 up, and then start all over again. That's what I would do. Let's see here. Or you could wait for a down day and then put it on. I don't know. I'd be out. Let's see here. What's going on, Thomas? Anyone have? Yeah, I do have one open. Mine.
I don't.
I actually have a strangle on. I got a 450 on the downside. I have a 900 on the top side. So, what are you laughing at?
That's crazy how wide you can get on that
I
thing.
dare you, Tesla, to test either one of those sides. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I triple dog dare you. There you go. So I do
If it's a triple dog, they have to do it.
I simple dog you. Okay. Yes. So I do have one on, Thomas. Do you have anything on? Let's see. Anyone? Yeah. What do you got on? Let's see here. Do any of you have any business to do your options? Do any of you have a bit? No, I don't. I'm not running my own business right now. Maybe sometime down the road, but I'm not looking forward to having the downtime to swap over to it either. But we know somebody that's doing it right now, but I'm not currently doing it. Why am I just realizing this is you? I don't know. I don't know. Amazon planning to take Bitcoin payments. That's the reason for the pump. Okay. Interesting. So what are we at right now? 17% it's up, huh? That's funny, how stuff comes out like strategically, right? Oh shoot, 30,000. All right, we got to put this news out there to pump it up now. It's like,
Yeah.
isn't it weird how that always ends up working out like that? Amazon probably owns a boatload of crypto or something. Amazon news is huge. I don't see how that really changed anything. Still probably gonna charge you tax and stuff. It's not like you can get around that, But I don't know what's the big deal. God, I sound like an anti free market type of person, but I'm definitely not. You have to understand. I just know the power of the government. The government's never going to let that take over the monetary system because that's how they rip us all off. So you think they're going to let that system go away? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of think the more you see these places accepting it, the more dangerous it actually becomes.
More dangerous that the government's going to do something about it.
Right.
So I am all about a free market, folks. I know that the government can squash it at any time they want. So there you go. And that's what I'm worried about, So do I wish that the fiat currency and all that crap didn't exist? Kind of. At the same time, we all wouldn't be making money in stocks if that was the case either. So I don't know. It is what it is. I just don't like getting ripped off. I don't like them doing all the stuff they do with my money that I pay them. So you ever notice, Jerry, that everybody in government's always rich?
They are
They're
always.
always millionaires, every one of them.
And it's weird though, because I mean their salaries are like what, 80 to 100 grand or something like that.
They make more than that, but
Some, I mean, but there's, I mean, well, if you're talking, yeah, Congress and stuff, what, 140, 200 or something like
it's
that.
probably up to like, yeah, I think it's about 150 or something now. But yeah, they free healthcare. I mean, dude, everybody. My French friend, my friend mentioned this to me. I don't know, like 9 years ago. He's like, you ever notice how everybody in government's always rich? I mean, look at Marco Rubio, for example, like multi-millionaire, like $30 million or some shit. Bernie Sanders is complaining, rich people makes millions of dollars off his book. I mean, come on, they're all freaking rich, and it's our money. They stole our money. See here. I thought Amazon was looking to make their own currency. I have never heard that one, but it wouldn't surprise me. What do you think about Bezos going in his own spaceship or whatever the heck it was? Did you watch the little interview when they landed and got out, and Morgan Brennan was interviewing them and stuff?
I didn't, but I heard people talking crap like he really didn't go to space officially,
No, he
right?
didn't. Well, it's technically considered space, but yeah. I wonder which out of all those people, which ones vomited on there when there were
It's just
3 weeks,
weird
3 minutes. What's
the
that?
rhetoric that they come out with, like what was the headline I saw? We're gonna need to leave this planet. I'm like, what?
They
What are
want
you
to move
talking?
all manufacturing into space.
It's
They don't have a
freaking
vehicle that can
weird.
get there. So, yeah, will you be lining up to go in that vehicle, Jerry?
No, go ahead and kill me off. I'm good.
I don't know. I've talked because I'm not really a prepper, but I am prepared for shit hits the fan, right? I'm prepared for that scenario. I got a couple of gas masks, and all this stuff, right? And I've talked to other people about it. And they're like, "Why do you do that?" Like, I don't want to live if the whole world's like that. I'm like, because it's built into our being to survive, right? Everything out there is built into that, like dogs, cats, animals are built to survive, right? It's just a natural instinct to try to survive. So, fine. You know what? I'll take the burden on. I'll repopulate the planet. I'll be the stud, okay? Gee, I got dibs on Morgan Brennan, by the way.
It better
Um,
happen soon. It better happen soon then.
what are you saying, Jerry?
Them fish are slowing down.
My fish are fine. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, I have an LLC. Okay, so you've got it. There you go. Hit up Thomas here. Blow up his email. Um, that's an interesting wild strangle. I think you're safe. Yeah, I think so. I have a few naked puts open at 500. Would take shares. Yeah, I would probably do the same thing if I think I have just one on, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, one contract each. So I'd take them down there at 450. Even though it's probably still overvalued at 450, I'd still take it. So, whoa, shoot, down the bottom, Jerry.
Wow. What's going on? That is everybody out prepping?
Yeah, I don't know. What are you prepping for what?
Prepping for the end of the world? We're gonna have to leave the planet.
Yeah, I don't know. That kid that was like, what, 18, 19 years old, and the youngest person to go to space, but his dad paid like $34 million or something for the ticket or whatever. So thanks, Dad. Um, Wally, which I thought was a dude. I thought it was a dude until she started talking. Oldest, was she the oldest person? I think she's the oldest person.
I don't know.
And then you had Jeff Bezos and his brother. So his brother, I mean, they don't look alike at all. They kind of do, but they kind of don't, just because they're bald. But his brother's
You know
way
what?
taller.
You know what's interesting is those people get so stinking rich that they can literally do whatever the hell they want.
Oh, of course.
I mean, would you even imagine? Would you even think, hey, you know what? I'm gonna build a rocket and go to space. No.
Yeah, I mean they can do whatever they want,
Yeah.
like so much freaking. That's the richest guy in the world right there, and it's like, and that's after his wife took half. So, um, let's see here. I'll let Dave strangle my stock. I will definitely not choke your chicken for sure. Which stock you want me to stroke here? Palantir? Wish? Is he even still in SPC? I don't think he is.
I think he is.
Is he? Ooh, Richard Branson. I don't know. $250,000 honestly that's actually a lot lower than I thought it would be to go to space, but I still think it's out of everybody's reach. And I could afford it, but I probably still wouldn't go. You know what I mean? Would you go, Gerry, if you had, $250,000 to blow?
Nope.
What? Why? You just don't trust it, or what?
I don't trust it as far as I can throw it, and I couldn't budget an inch. So yeah, there ain't no way. That's like I'm gonna get jacked up here. Nah, I better not even say. But I don't trust it. There's just not enough. There's not like some other things going on right now. There's just not enough history, not enough evidence that this is gonna work and you're gonna be okay.
I was just surprised that he went, because I mean, honestly, there's a high likelihood that rocket can blow up. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you're ready to die. You're gonna pay.
Richest guy in the world.
You're gonna pay to possibly die.
Yeah.
You actually have a very good chance of dying. It's not like, taking a ride in a race car or something. You're going up into space and something unproven that doesn't happen very often, and you're paying for a higher likelihood of death. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I would say if I would have had to die on that trip, it better be on the re-entry. That way I can at least experience space, right? But Gerry's old enough. He's like 50-something years old now, so he definitely is old enough to remember the Challenger explosion.
Yep.
I was in third grade or second grade, and the Challenger exploded.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't remember that because they're probably not old enough to remember that. James probably does. Who else is in here is old enough? That's about it. Other people I know anyway. But yeah, that was a big deal back then. Big deal. Back in the 80s.
It was sad. It was very sad.
Yeah, that was like early 80s. So it was a big deal back then. Nowadays, I mean, probably wouldn't make. I mean, it would still make news, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal, I'd suppose.
I would pay. I was watching TV the other day. One of the rare. That's probably like the first time I watched TV all year, and I saw the NHRA drag racing. Now, I would pay to take a ride in a top fuel dragster. I would do that. I'd want to drive it too, but if they wouldn't let me drive it, I'd definitely want to take a ride.
I went to one of those. What do they call those things? Where they have arcade and all that. Well, they had dragsters there. Now they didn't go quarter mile. They didn't go eighth mile, but it was a pretty good distance. And they're real dragsters, But obviously, it's not 5,000 horsepower or something like these top fuels or whatever the hell they have, But they were pretty quick, I was pretty surprised. It all really came down to the redaction time.
Yeah.
But they were pretty fast, and when they get down the end, you'd be like, "Oh God, I hope this thing stops."
So. It was just interesting because one of the good memories of my childhood was actually going to the NHRA drags in Sonoma, Sears Point.
And, I love Sears Point.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I was a kid, and I remember just smelling the alcohol, getting home, and you're like covered in rubber. Your nose is all got rubber bits all in it. And I remember it being fast back then. That was back Shirley Muldowney. Remember Shirley Muldowney? She was like one of the first women drag racers. But I watched it today, and it was like, or the other day, and I was amazed. 3.7 second quarter miles.
That's insane.
That's insane.
I think that the funny cars are actually faster, which is kind of weird.
It was 0 to like 3. What was it? 340 or something like that in that
Yeah.
3.7 seconds.
And gas cars can't do 0 to 60 in that amount of time.
Mm-mm.
So maybe a Tesla can.
Yeah,
But,
maybe.
yeah, maybe a Cybertruck can, but definitely not a gas car. There's like very few gas cars that can do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. What makes you think Tesla's overvalued at PE of 648? Yeah, I don't know. It's just for some reason I just got a feeling that it actually was. 4P is only 100, so no, it's
Hey,
definitely valued, but
getting
it's a
better.
cold stock. What's that?
It's getting better.
Yeah, I don't know about that. 550 seems like a good sticky point. So if it drops 550, I'm down to 450, so I'm happy with that. I'll take the stock. It's got a gap down there though. It's got a gap down at like 400, 425. Of course, I'm in SPCE. Good. Yeah. To me, it's the same thing. You know, they're all concerned about going to freaking space and space travel. Like, why don't we just get a freaking plane that can do, supersonic plane? Let's get a Concorde back. Let's get a Concorde 2 back and have the plane tickets be $200, Come on, folks. And I know I even looked this up. I know the reason why planes really don't go beyond 550 miles an hour. It's not fuel efficient to break the sound barrier. And the sound barrier is what, like 750 or something right there. So that's Mach 1. I don't know. Maybe is the sound barrier at Mach 1 or are they two separate numbers? I don't know. Maybe somebody can
They were two separate, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know what the sound barrier is then, but Mach 1 is what, 750 or something. So yeah, come on. It's 2021, folks, and we're still gotta sit in a plane for 5 hours to go from East Coast to West Coast, and then if you're unlucky going the opposite direction, it might be a little bit longer than that because you got to go against Jetstream. All right, what's James? I was watching. Yeah, cool. Were you down there in Florida when it was going on? What's really sad is I was down in Florida in 2013 from like July to September timeframe when the very last space shuttle took off, and I didn't get to see it because it was cloudy that day. Like, darn it, I was in Tampa, and it's quite a ways away from Kennedy Space Center. You could probably see it if it was clear out that day, though. Yeah, I bet. I mean, it was a big deal back then because space travel was something that wasn't very. It's just, I don't know. It was very fascinating when you're that old, and it was just, it was in the '80s. Nowadays
Yeah,
it just,
it was real. It was really exciting, right? Because all the classes and everything, oh, we're going to space and we're learning about this and blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, whoa, everybody's freaking dead. And that's like, that was horrible, right? And
first woman teacher or first female teacher.
Yep.
First female, I think, right?
I do believe, no. Yeah, you might be right, actually.
Yeah. She was a teacher. I got to ride in a F1 race car, 186 on the circuit. That was, yeah, I bet that was.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Formula One fan. I'm not really a fan of Indy, but I'm a fan of F1. Just because of the way they're all road courses, they're not circle tracks, and the yellow caution the corners. They don't do the whole track unless it's a major freaking wreck or something. I really like that about F1s. Let's see here. Why is Tesla with 0.5 M production worth? Yeah, I don't know. While Ford with production is minimal. It's cult, man. It's a cult following is what it is. People just think that they're gonna eat everybody's lunch. That's what people think.
We were talking about that last night, actually. It's like, do you really think that Tesla will be able to turn around a huge share of the Ford F-150 truck buyer to buy a Tesla? No, not going to happen.
Even if the F-150 is electric?
Even if the F-150, especially if the F-150 is electric and they have a choice?
The problem with Tesla is, in my opinion, the cars are ugly. They don't really have any cool cars.
They
You
are.
know, it's a sedan. You know, no, they have the whatever you call that damn thing, the spider or whatever. It's kind of cool looking, right? It's not cheap though, you know. So the truck's fugly, right? Who wants to buy a freaking sedan that's, you know, I mean, come on. So in my opinion, they need to make some more nice looking cars. You know, remember what was it, the Raptor, the Nikola Raptor? That was a
Mm.
beautiful looking truck. You know, I'll buy one of those things over a freaking Cybertruck any day.
I can't stand the lack of a front grill.
Well, you
That
don't
looks
need a grill on
horrible.
an electric car, Jerry.
I know, but it looks fucking horrible. Excuse my language. I cussed first time.
Yeah, right. Does it every day, folks. I think you're right, though. I saw it on Twitter the other day. Somebody put they're like, I'm out to tractor pulls right now. You think that all these people at the tractor pulls are going to want to have an electric vehicle, an electric truck? That's got a point. Electric Bigfoot, Jerry.
That would be interesting.
Electric Gravedigger. Tesla is the easiest, my biggest winner selling options. I agree. It's easy selling options on it because you can get super wide on it and you almost dare to get down there because you could just open some more even lower and make even more money, you know? And you got a bunch of quote unquote idiots that are just going to buy it up, right? Even though it's a 650 freaking PE. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree, Richard. One trick pony, just like I am. Mach 1 is Sound Bear. There you go. 750ish. Yeah, what we really need is we need an SR-71 to go from here to Australia, here to Frankfurt. I mean, that's what we need. You know what I mean? Just don't want to sit on a plane for 15 hours. I need to get BA Baracusted. You know what I mean?
SR-71. Is that a Blackbird?
Yeah, yeah. He got retired because it was going too fast. I think it would expand and then fuel would leak out of it. So the metal would expand and then it would just start leaking fuel. So they retired it. That might have, yeah, the Concorde had some issue like that too. I don't know if it's because it goes too fast, but it definitely had some issues. Fuel, I don't know what it was, some engine blowing up or something. I've seen some. I was around the Concordes. Right? I used to take off in Oakland, Jerry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had a couple of Concordes there. I've lived in Florida well before you were even born, 1968. Yeah, well, not before Jerry was born.
I wouldn't be bragging on that.
It was a bigger deal because it had Chris on board, which is the first civilian.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, the teacher was the first civilian, right?
Yeah.
Was
I
that?
think that's who it was.
I didn't remember if her name was Chris, but yeah, it was a big deal. And that one, that blew up on takeoff. So, and not too high up either. And then we had another shuttle that blew up on reentry because of the tile. So that wasn't that long ago. I don't know how long ago that one was. Obviously, it's before they retired it. But which one I saw? So there is like 3 space shuttles that are left. I think there's one in the Kennedy Space Center that I've seen. There's one in DC, which is probably at the Air and Space Museum. Honestly, that is the best museum to go to in all of DC.
Where's this at?
The Air and Space Museum in DC. Chuck Yeager's X1 is there. So I think that's the first thing that's ever gone Mach. That was, you can see that. But, definitely, if you can go to DC, check out the Air and Space Museum because one of the shuttles is there too. And where did they put the third one at? Honestly, Houston should have had one, but I don't think one went to Houston. Let's see. Everybody's probably Googling this shit to sound smart right now.
Yeah.
Got my ass handed to me selling put. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'd be doing puts on that. That stock is just one rocket blows up, you're screwed. You know what I mean? Have me sell calls against now to dig? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably just not a stock I would touch from that aspect. I don't even want to own it, honestly. Not first female. Okay. Hey, I was young. Gerry, my virgin years.
It is ugly.
Mark Ryan, let's see here. Very interested in trying to get started with some simple options trading. 7 figures in index funds, but never traded options before. Join the Discord. It's free. And then you can join Thursday night. You can ask questions there. You can ask questions in any of the groups that are in there. That's probably the easiest way, best way to actually have access to people that do this. Some do it for a living. Some do it for retirement. Some do it for early retirement. Some do it just because it's easy money. Some do it just because they're bored. Yeah, I would definitely sell premium. Don't buy premium. Okay. Now, granted, some of us do buy premium on select occasions, but I'm not day trading options. I'm not buying premium from that aspect. So definitely look into selling premium. Go safe, start out safe, get the mechanics down. And then from there, don't chase premium into the junk stocks like Gerry does. Your AHT, are you still in that?
Oh yeah. Tune in Wednesday. You see all the carnage. You see all the carnage.
All right. Oh man, I was just busting his balls. Grateful man. Let's see here. Yes, you can see the launching from Tampa. Yeah, I agree. I was out watching, but I couldn't see it. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, that does suck.
Ooh, you are wrong, Dave. You are wrong.
You're wrong on SR-71 Blackbird. It leaked fuel on the ground. Okay. It kind of makes sense because I guess when you're up high, it's super cold, right? Like 36,000 feet or whatever. It's like super cold up there. So it kind of means it would contract. So there you go. You're flat for 24 hours a day. It'll never leak fuel.
So when you're coming in for a landing, the fuel just sprays out everywhere.
It could, yeah, because you're only going 100 and something miles an hour then.
That's so weird.
Maybe
they retired it. They didn't figure it out. That's weird.
What are you going to do? Rebuild the whole plane? You can't rebuild the whole plane, Gerry. Why would you do that at that point?
Why not? I mean, you figured out something.
You got to change the metal. You got to build the whole freaking thing out of some other metal, Gerry. You got to put RTD in there?
If it works, freaking, they got freaking.
I'm not flying on it then.
What's that stuff? That crack seal stuff.
Flex seal?
They got flex seal. They got expanding foam. I mean, come on.
None of that stuff existed.
Some of this stuff was invented on the freaking in space. Must be good.
Yeah, WD-40 was invented during the space shuttle when they were building the space shuttle or inventing it or whatever. But you're right. I completely had it opposite. But yeah, the funny thing is here, you think they built a prototype, right? And they're okay, they would have noticed it dripping fuel. You know what I mean? Like the prototype before they put them in mass production. Actually, they weren't really in mass production. I did see one in person. I was stationed at Beale Air Force Base, and they have one there, so I got to see one up close. But I love it. It's a beautiful looking plane. Let's see here, Whitney Platt. Oh yeah, designed here. Yeah, our best sounding engine was the original engines on the C5s. By the way, they all took them out of it. They're all out of commission now. But man, talk about the slowest freaking biggest plane in the world, pretty much. And it's also the slowest plane. That thing looks like it's floating. Let's see here. Spruce Goose. Where did they put that? They put that in Portland? Yeah, you can put it in Portland. It's not up in Seattle, so it's got to be in Portland. Or maybe it's south of there. But yeah, it used to be down there in Long Beach. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, Los Angeles. Yeah. Honestly, I think it should have went to Houston. They deserved it. Yeah, not like a huge Houston fan, but that's where they should have put one. Let's see here. The Airbnb Wright Patterson there. Yes, I've been to that one. Yeah, I did a job out there at Wright Pat. I was out there for a couple of days, and one of the guys I was working with out there is like, you got to go to this Air and Space Museum. So I did go. I was bummed because I went through that whole freaking thing, and I didn't see a Corsair there. That's the only plane I really wanted to see was a Corsair. So they don't have a space shuttle, but they have a front of one for training or something like that. Corsair, man, one of the most beautiful planes in my opinion. Let's see here. What's going on? All good? Got back from your walk? Let's see here. I had a really good poster of one on the ground. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't remember seeing it. Oh, Pratt Win. Yeah. I don't know where that's at, Gerry. You got to get out.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta get out and see some of this stuff on my horrible investment of an RV.
You know that RV in your last video, Gerry? I actually had to rewind it, go back. I thought it said Fidelity on it.
I don't know if it was
Fidelity?
Japanese or Chinese. It was something. It was interesting.
I was like, oh, yeah, maybe they retired early and they're trading options in Fidelity or something.
I got my balls busted on that video.
Why? Oh yeah, I did bust your balls a little bit.
No, not you. People say RV is a horrible investment. Why would you waste your money? I'm like, I'm not
totally
buying it. I'm not buying it as an investment.
But he's wrong though, because RVs just went up in value like the last year or two.
At this point, it's a great investment.
There's no stopping it at this point. So if he would have said a boat, then maybe, right? Because boats are horrible investments in general. I think unless you live, in Florida and got a slip or something like that. But, I don't know. I think he's wrong. That's funny. There's this, good luck trying to find an RV right now, let alone, pay what you could have paid 2 years for one.
Yeah, 2 years ago, we were looking at an RV, brand new RV, 2019. It was just a gasser RV, and it was for sale for $79.99, and I didn't pull the trigger. And today or last night, I looked up that same exact model, same year, 10,000 miles later, 2 years later, $95,000.
There you go, folks. And RVs, depending on the RV manufacturer, they don't last very long. Like the wear and tear on those things is terrible. The hinges, the door, just the latches. Everything they're kind of like cheaply made.
There's levels to it. It's actually probably more beneficial or better to buy a 20-year-old model from a higher end manufacturer. And then usually the people that buy those higher end models 20 years ago or 30 years ago really took care of their stuff, because they're not going to spend $500,000 on a RV and just treat it like crap.
Yeah. Well, I lost 2 subs, Gerry.
Sorry, it's probably my fault talking about NHRA and
people really just hate these streams. I don't know what it is. It's just, and they're always too chicken shit to come in and leave a comment or come in here and say something. And they're honestly probably not options traders, but it is what it is. I still come here every week despite everybody hating them, and because I enjoy the crowd, the people I have in here, and communicating in this community. So we don't need those 2 people that left. So screw you. So Gerry, tell us more about your colony that you did. I know you're going to talk about it on Wednesday, but give us a sneak peek.
Well, the funny thing is I didn't sell these things to do a colony, because I think the colony strategy is kind of horrible, right? Just for the lack of a better word. Don't
unsub people.
And here is the crux of it, right? Is you actually end up owning horrible companies. So that's like the argument for a colony is that you can own more of it because it's cheaper. Well,
which does more damage.
Which does more damage in a market downturn. So, for instance, you get a crappy $5-10 stock and they have some bad news, they may drop 50%, right? Whereas, say a Coca-Cola, they come out with bad news, they may drop 5%. right? And you're still in a quality business, paying you a dividend, and there's no issue there. Even if the market crashed, you know, a Coca-Cola, a Kimberly-Clark, I don't know, just throw some quality stocks out there. They're not going to crash like these $5 to $10 stocks would. They're not. And they can, you know, they have such a higher probability of going absolutely kaput. So,
Well, I have heard somebody mention that it's because you got in the wrong stock, Gerry.
well,
But
regardless,
if we knew what stocks would tank or go bankrupt, we wouldn't get into them, right? So
exactly.
so it's how is it the stock that you got into is problem, right? Like it's I just don't understand the argument there. Like you got in the wrong stock. Like it has nothing to do because you don't know which one's going to go under, right? Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like if you can get in there and you can get under your cost basis or get it to zero, then by all means, it's luck that you do it. But you know, just hopefully that doesn't go bankrupt by the time that happens, right?
That's the thing. You're hoping and a wishing that you can just keep this going long enough to get your cost basis to zero. But if you don't, then what? You're screwed.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It has its place, but there's always pros and cons to every strategy, in my opinion. So
To me, there's a lot more risk involved in that. A lot.
I agree. I wouldn't touch it with your money.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It was Gerry's fouling. Yeah, thanks a lot, Gerry. Fuck you, Gerry. No. You know what? People are offended by foul language. Come on. I mean, jeez. So you guys are the best. Yeah, let the haters hate. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. People just, they see the stream and I don't know what it is. It's like every stream though, which is kind of weird, but thanks a lot for that, Thomas. The NDX would be 1.4 million for 100 units. 100 units. 100 contracts? Wouldn't it be more than that?
Oh no, I think he's right. Like 14 grand times 100. That's 1.4 mil. Yeah. The NDX is about 14,000. No, that's what you would need to cash settle it.
Without having a spread on.
Right.
That's assuming you lost it all.
That's assuming, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not putting on naked anyway on the NDX, but I just man, I wish the NDX would work for what I want it for. I want to have the protection. Damn, let's say that backwards. I don't want the protection, but you kind of do need it with that. But yeah. I want it for the downside risk. I can use it as a hedge in a way, but I want to be able to take the shares. So, and then reduce the commissions. It would work great for that. It's just not, I don't like the cash settle, darn it. So that brings me to Qs. I need an in-between. I need a tweener. That's what I need. I only do colonies. Yeah. Why don't you do colonies and Wish and Palantir and SPC? There you go. Virgin Galactic. Do colonies on that. Tom.
You do it on Wish.
Does he?
Wish qualifies.
Is it below $10?
Yep.
There you go. There you go. Do a call. Why did you do it on that?
I actually have some puts on it. So
why'd you do AHT?
Well, as you know, prior to doing all this, I was big into REITs, right?
So, oh yeah, I do know.
I was big into REITs and AHT. If you look at AHT, yeah, they're performing horribly. But if you look at the actual properties owned by AHT, they're pretty damn good. They have pretty damn good portfolio of properties. So and it's in hotels. And I was thinking, okay, we're doing a reopening play. That's what I was thinking.
Right. So that one, you had was that earnings that it tanked? Is that what it was?
It was the reverse split.
Oh, the reverse split. That's right. Yeah. And it just went down 10% on Friday, by the way.
Yeah.
Why?
They got earnings coming up. I don't know. We'll see. But that's why I played it. It wasn't a colony thing. That wasn't what I was going after. I was just going. I was thinking of the reopening, and they just shot themselves in the foot.
Well, technically, the share split really it hurt you because you're in options because what you were trying to do, but it really didn't hurt you technically, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It just hurt your strategy with what you were doing with the options.
a reverse split rarely works. That's the problem. Usually a reverse split, it pumps up the share price and then it just comes right back to where it was eventually. That's what you usually see historically in reverse splits. So, I'm probably just going to bag hold it and see. I mean, like I said, their portfolio properties are fine. I'd have to. I'm not going to, but like how you said, I'm not going to, go listen to freaking earnings calls. I'm not going to go look at balance sheets. I don't care.
What's your break even?
I think like $30.
How'd you get it down? Oh, you had a low put to begin with, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, they do have earnings in
a week.
3 days.
Yeah, was it 3 days? Yeah,
July 28th.
I'm not paying big of attention to it anymore.
Yeah. Gerry will be joining the conference call, by the way.
I will not be joining the conference call.
Oh man! Remember when Ronaldo ditched Coca-Cola during an interview? My KO barely moved. What?
That was funny.
Why did I not see that?
That was funny. He was sitting at the how they interview you, and he had the screen in the back, and they had the Coca-Cola bottle sitting right next to the mic, that's advertising, right? And he got up there and he goes, drink water.
Who's Ronaldo?
The soccer player. I forget what. I don't know what his first name is, or if that is his first name. I have no idea. I don't watch it, but I'm gonna probably get unsubbed now because I called it soccer.
Well, I don't watch football either, so I think it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's not big over here. It's just not. Kind of like hockey's really not. In Los Angeles. Let's see here. Can you explain the colony strategy? I must have missed this.
See, we talk crap about it, and then people still want to know. It's weird. It's so freaking weird.
I don't even know if I can articulate it correctly. So Gerry's probably best because he's done them. So
I wish I can copy and paste my perfect explanation of it, but it's basically buying leaps or long in suspect $5 to $10 range stocks. Hopefully that they're good, and sell covered calls against them, and just as you sell covered calls and collect a premium, you buy more of said leaps of said okay companies, and then you sell more calls, and then with that premium comes in, you buy more. So you just keep building up your position in this suspect company, and you keep doing the cash flow with the calls and building the position up that way. But like we said, it's not risks. It's totally not risk free. So
I would probably add on that, the returns are good.
Yeah.
The returns are good, assuming that the stock doesn't tank or go under. Like the returns are like 10% and above. That I think you get out of those calls or whatever, the cover calls. But If you want to know more about it, you can come to Discord. There's more information in
Yeah,
there.
you can come to Discord. It's if you want to play around with it, that's fine. But if I would never recommend anybody to do this as a core strategy. It's almost like penny stocks, right? It's fine if you want to go play with a penny stock or two and have it be 0.5% or 0.25% of your portfolio or something. But to actually build a whole freaking colony of all these different weird companies is probably not a good thing if it's your main portion of your portfolio, because it's extremely more risky than playing large cap stocks. It just flat out is. You go look at the history of failure of micro cap and small cap stocks versus large cap stocks. It's like night and freaking day.
Oh,
So
of course. So the person that I don't know, did they come up with that name on their own or whatever? So the person that came up with it,
yeah,
there was a reason why they were doing the colony strategies, because they were not allowed to do certain strategies like PMCCs, for example,
yeah.
in that account. So that's the whole reason why they had to do this particular strategy. I don't know if it was just PMCCs, but
Yeah, they couldn't sell the PMCC in their retirement accounts.
so if you have the option to do other things, then you know what I mean? So they were kind of forced to have to do something like this. Returned, anyways, yeah. Like I said, join the Discord. There's more information in there about it. If you knew one that would tank, you would have bought. Yeah, of course. I'm saying, if Gerry knew
Exactly.
it would tank, he wouldn't have gone into it, right? We'd all be rich if we knew what was going to happen. Um, all good. Let's see here. Hey guys, great stuff as always. I know you guys are up on some BST and BSTZ. What are your thoughts on those being part of a long-term diversified? Up on some? What does he mean by up on some, Gerry?
Just that about it. That's all he's talking about.
Gotcha. I don't have BSTZ, but I do have BST. I'm a big fan of it, honestly, and I just put it in my schoolie fund as well. I'll be continue to build it out, so it's going to stay in my portfolio for a while, probably. The thing is, God, I haven't gone through retirement yet. I'm almost there, but until I go through it and find out what my needs are and all that stuff, I don't know, if I'll keep it for forever or for a year. So, but right now, I'm a big fan of BST. What about you, Gerry?
I'm a huge fan of BST. It's one of the very few closed-end funds that actually has a growing dividend and a growing capital appreciation. It's very rare to find in the closed-end fund world.
That's what I like about it. The fact that I can, have something there that grows good, but has a good CAGR too, right?
Yeah. So if you can buy it at a discount, which I think it's still at a discount, which is extremely rare for it too, I'd say probably it's a good time to pick some up. BSTZ. Now, BST, that's a good, as far as your question is concerned, long-term portfolio, I'd say, yeah. If you believe in tech, you believe in the way BlackRock invests money, they're major players. So I don't have a problem saying that's a good long-term hold. BSTZ, on the other hand, is probably going to perform well during the life of the fund. And when I say that, BSTZ has an expiration date. So you have to be careful there. So if you build a freaking huge position in BSTZ and this thing expires, you have to sell it. So you're going to have to realize the gains.
Can they extend, or will they likely extend?
Well, the way the prospectus reads now, they can only extend it up to, I'm thinking off the top of my head, 6 months to a year, one time. So, of course they can change that later on. They have a board of directors that make those decisions and votes on it.
So give us the cons of why the expiry is a bad thing. Do you get forced to take your shares at that price right away, or people are going to sell out of it, cause it to go down before they get rid of it? I mean, do taxed right away because of the return on capital. Like, I mean, you know what I mean?
You'll probably get it'll end up like, for instance, say BSTZ is trading at a premium before expiration, right? Say it's trading 10% above its net asset value. When it goes to close, that premium is going to shrink, and you're only going to get your net asset value of the fund. It can't give you more, right? So, for instance, say BSTZ is trading at $55, but the net asset value of the fund is only worth $50. You're not going to get 55. You're only going to get 50. Does that make sense? Because that's the net asset value of the fund. So if it closes out, that's all they're going to get you.
So don't buy at a premium.
So don't buy it at a premium, or don't buy it close to expiration at a premium for sure, because you're just going to lock in losses.
So this is not an issue with BST. There's no expiry.
Not an issue with BST. BST is perpetual. So BSTZ, you know, I'm not a financial advisor, but it's probably better held in a retirement account, to where if it does expire and you have a huge capital gain in there, you don't have to, you know, pay taxes on it, or it's tax protected, right? Other than that, you know, that's the cons I see of BSTZ.
I will continue to add to it. There's 32K in there now. I'll be continue to add when I retire. I'll be building that position out. Probably all of my income ETFs will have 100K plus in there, because I need that income when I retire. And then I'll slowly build out the more, you know, traditional VTI, VU, or individual stocks. But great question there. And thankful we have the expert on the live stream. So see above, we got your, hey, thanks a lot for that. Yeah, I didn't even see that pop up. So thanks a lot for that. Did you see that pop up, Gerry?
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, yeah, that's a good one. You own BST as well, Matthew? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows that I have BST yet, because I think it was after that dividend portfolio update, the last one I did. So I don't know if anybody technically knows I own it yet, but I had to sell.
No, I thought you put it in there.
I don't remember if it was in there. XYLD was in there. So, yeah, I don't remember. I can't remember what's going on here. Long time. Yeah, just a few hours. Any market downturn, how do you think these covered call ETF funds will perform? That's an interesting question, because not all of them are the same. You know, every one of them is different in their own way, kind of, right? So different indexes, different strategies. So maybe you can just touch on that, like run through them all. Like, I don't know. Obviously, we know NUSI would probably perform better, but
yeah, NUSI will probably perform the best out of all of them. And when I say perform the best, that means drop the least.
Right.
That's because they have a protective put down there, protecting your downside. But other than that, it's kind of hard to say, because if it's going to hit, if it hits the NASDAQ, like, you know, it's going to affect everyone else. But if it hits the NASDAQ the hardest, then QYLD is not going to do as well. If it hits the Russell the hardest, then RYLD is not going to do so well. If it hits the S&P the hardest, you know, if it hits the S&P hard, then it's probably going to hit everything else, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like QYLD would affect, like if that got hit, there's stocks that are in the Russell that are in there. You know what I mean? So yeah, they're all connected in a way.
For the most part, as far as how they're going to perform poorly. They're going to perform the way, but except for NUSI, they're going to perform however much, they're going to match the index for the most part. It's going to be within a couple percentage points. So if we have a 30% down in a month, you're going to probably see a 30% down in all these covered call ETFs, except maybe NUSI, JEPI a little bit, because they got some fixed income.
Depot
may
hold up pretty well.
Devo, yeah, maybe because they're so concentrated that they might not
All
be.
large cap too.
Yeah, they might not be exposed to a. They might be exposed to things that do better, is what I'm saying.
Right.
In a downturn.
Exactly. Apple, Microsoft, for example.
Yeah.
So just kind of, I'll ask my own question here. I'll ask it on behalf of Matthew. So, so okay, you just talked about all these going down. That doesn't bother me. It's just stock market. You're in the stock market. That's just the nature of the game, right? That's the nature of the beast, or whatever the heck you call it. So the question is what happens to the income? That's the question.
Well, your income should drop.
By
That's
how much?
the problem. Now, like QILD, for instance, they've been, ever since March 2020, they've been, except for last month, which was interesting, since March 2020, they've been paying out 1% of their net asset value every month. So one would assume that if QILD, and you know what they say about assuming, but if QILD drops from $23 to 15, your 23-cent dividend will probably be 15 cents. So, if it drops 50%, your income should, from looking at March 2020 on, drop 50% as well.
Now, is that just a QILD thing?
It seems like it, although Newsy has been up there too, or not up there, but they've been maintaining a very level dividend payment, which is odd to me. Like, how are you getting the same exact, dividend payment every month?
Well, they could be making more, but they're just paying out a standard amount every month to make it. You know what I mean?
Could be.
Pocket in the rest.
But can they do that? I'm not sure. I'd have to read the prospectus on that, whether they can even, could an ETF even have excess like that?
I don't know. So as far as JEPI, so they're doing ETNs. So as far as JEPI,
No, ELNs.
XYLD,
ELNs.
what do you think about those? Yeah, ELNs.
JEPI doing ELNs. That's a big difference between ELNs and ETNs.
Did I say ETN?
Yeah.
ELNs.
They're ELNs. Huge difference. But JEPI should perform pretty well because the way their portfolio is assembled, it's assembled to be low beta. So it's when you talk about beta, it's how much upside, downside, whatever that it captures from the S&P 500, right? So it's supposed to be lower volatility stocks. That's how they build 80% of their portfolio. So that didn't quite work in March 2020, because SPHD, right, the ETF, that was supposed to be low volatility too.
Yeah, it showed a few colors. It was not low volatility at all.
It did horrible. There was
they have to rename it.
Yeah, it did horrible.
High volatility.
So it theoretically, yes, it should perform very well. It should perform better. I shouldn't say very well.
This is good information right here, folks. Like, honestly, the best thing out of this stream is this information, because there's a lot of people that are getting into these ETFs. Now, it makes sense for me to get into it because I'm going to retire next year, right? I need that income. But, shoot, if I have $50,000 of income and we have a 30% market decline, that drops 30%. That's huge, right? Like, I need to know this. Now, I'm not going to be balls deep in freaking QLD. It's, you know what I mean? So I don't think I'll get hit that much, but
JEPI should hold up, because the majority of the income comes from 20% of those equity linked notes. Right. And for the most part, that's like a fixed income deal. So it's kind of but that's kind of like the downside to JEPI as well. Because if you part of that is going to probably be taxed as ordinary income, because there's
trade-offs with every one of these. There's pros and cons with every one of them. There is no, like, if you can go to Seeking Alpha and read up, articles at any of these, there's always a negative about something, right? It's impossible to find the perfect ETF, the perfect the CEF that outperforms the market, doesn't decline, pays monthly, pays, perfect amount of money every month. And you know what I'm talking about? Like, you have to give up one of those. It's almost impossible to find the perfect one,
Right.
that has all that stuff, all the above. And that's what everybody's trying to find. It just doesn't exist. So, okay, that's good news. That's good information there, because I'm spread out across all of them, honestly. I don't have QLD right now, but so, I need to know that information. But right here, covered calls. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, it has been late catch. Yeah, okay. A reverse split is telling you they can't make the stock go up on its own. Yeah.
That's true. That's because,
Trying to get mutual. Well, it could be that, but they're also trying to artificially make it look like it's a better stock than it really is, right? Like, if you take like $1.50 stock and it turns into a $50 stock, you must think that it's a better quality company, right?
Yeah, well, and also there's ETFs that have rules set up, like, you can't buy stocks under $5 a share. There's a lot of ETFs that way. Also, AHT, that's the one he's talking about, actually just got added to the Russell. So that's kind of why they did it too. So they get added to the Russell and sound relevant. So we'll see how it works out.
Not working yet.
There was a reverse split that happened with Rite Aid, RAD, which was weird. It actually worked, but they had the pandemic that kind of helped them along, right? So it's kind of interesting.
It's funny how the reverse split works in reverse, because the opposite works with a split as well. People think the stock is cheap, so they buy it.
Right.
Folks, it's not any cheaper just because they split. It's the exact same price as it was, even though the stock price is cheaper. That's something that people really should understand and learn, because there's a reason why the stocks go up when they split, because people are dumb enough to actually think this stock is cheap. Drink more water. Ronaldo Cristo, air quote, suspect company. Yeah, suspect company. Hockey isn't big here. It's not really big on the West Coast. Sorry. It's big. It's bigger in the East Coast, because y'all play, hockey outdoors, and West Coast. California. What's 50 degrees?
We can't play hockey in the desert.
No. Can you do the stock repair strategy on that stock, Gerry?
I doubt it.
What is that? Buy 2 calls or puts or whatever, sell 1 or something?
I doubt it. There's probably another issue, and that's probably what other issue is. Well, no, actually, I might be able to, because before they had strikes that were $2.50 apart. So now that they're higher priced, their strike prices might be a little bit better. You know what I mean? So they might be 50 cents or $1 wide or something. So I might have to look into it.
Yeah, I can't remember what that is. Sell 2, buy 1, buy 2, sell 1, something like that.
I don't remember. People get all kinds.
I don't even know where that strategy is either. I don't know if we pinned it or not. I think we pinned it, but
probably did.
Pinned it in the Discord, folks. Let's see here. Great explanation. Yeah. Long BST and BTSD, 2 of the best income plays you can find. I completely agree.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I'm actually dumping Devo out of the Schoolie fund, not out of my other portfolio, my dividend portfolio, just out of the Schoolie fund. And I'm going to go into RWLD instead, because why do I need Devo in there too? I have BST. I wanted to get some paid monthly, that way I feel good, but I'll go into RWLD instead of Devo in that particular portfolio. I don't really talk about that portfolio much, but that portfolio is in competition with Gerry's RV fund. So, He thinks I'm actually going to take a portion of that portfolio too and buy 50 amps breakers and stuff, but I'm not.
Probably.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Matthew. Hopefully, my added question was helpful too. 5K so far, and I'm just curious which one you're in, though. Maybe you said below here. It was in your last video, was it?
Yeah, your BST. I thought it was too.
Was it? Jeez, I couldn't resist when they had that right offering to pick it up. Like you don't, it doesn't get below its premium or whatever you call it, below its often. So I had to take advantage. I had to move some stuff around and make some, make some room for it. So
And that's the thing, is it's sitting at a discount. They've collected the money and they haven't even invested the money yet, probably. So
what do you think they're going to invest in? Just going to buy
probably more of the same stuff, but
I don't hold BSTs yet, BSTZs yet, but I'm not sure now. Rethinking it, like I said, BST would be the way to go.
I like BSTZ. It probably has even a better growth profile if you like the future, right? Because it's probably more of the riskier side. It's kind of like what am I thinking of? It's kind of like QQQ and QQQJ.
XJ.
The next generation NASDAQ. So the BSTZ is like the next generation BST.
Like an ARK-K?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
They also hold in BSTZ, they also hold private equity too. So it's not just in stocks.
Jeppy. What about Jeppy? So Jeppy is my second largest holding, by the way. So
I like Jeppy. I've always liked Jeppy.
Me too.
I just think long term, I think it's going to do well.
Jeppy is my second largest holding after Nusi. And then comes Devo, then VYM. VYM, I'll be dumping probably almost all of VYM, if not all of it. It's just not. I got to wait till a few more months till it's more long-term capital gains. Yeah, and for anybody that's watching this, it's not that I don't like VYM. Okay, don't think that I don't like VYM. It's just, why do I need that in there anymore at this point when I'm going to be some other ETFs that are like Devo, for example, where they'll run the cover calls for me. But it does make sense maybe to carry, I don't know. I think SHD is a better play than VYM. If you're going to go straight ETFs and have no individual positions, SCHD would be a better choice than VYM anyway. So yeah, let's see here. Freddie, cover call ETFs in a downturn. Did not have them in myself, but my brother lost a good money twice, once. Well, what does he mean by lost money? Yeah, if you sell it, you're going to lose money.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not. It's not only to ETFs, right? It's not only to income ETFs. Your individual positions would happen too, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think that's what you're kind of getting at too. These are income ETFs, right? They're not, in my opinion, they should not be your core investment as a young person or someone in accumulation mode. They should be someone in retirement who needs to generate income. Now you can say, well, if you're just trying to build it up and use it as income later on, that's fine. So then these drops that happened in December 2018 and March 2020, you should have been happy as a freaking clam.
Yeah, you should have been picking up more.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day that you possibly could. You should have took a second job to put more money in there.
So I mean, if you're using it, that's what I'm saying. If you're using it for income and you've had these dips, boy, you should be buying them hand over fist. You should be happy. That goes for everything. But
if this happens to me, if I'm in any of these during a downturn, number one, I mean, depends on how bad the downturn is, right? I will be dumping money back into stuff. I'll reduce my expenses. I'll not, eat bacon every day like I do now. I'll do whatever I need to do. I'll go geo arbitrage if I need to, which I don't think I'm going to need to do any of that stuff. But why not try to cut back a little bit to be able to feed more money back in there, right? And we all had a different strategy anyway. We'll probably be buying TQQQ leaps anyway. So I'll be buying those too every single day. Look how fast this happened. It happened so fast. And people were worried that it was going to go down lower, so they didn't buy. They sold out, but they didn't buy, and then they ended up buying back what it was at, back to where it took a couple of stocks, like we're back even within 60 days, less than 60 days for some stocks. Yet it's such a short window. So have a plan, right? You're not going to be able to catch the bottom. Set up a nice plan, okay? It drops 20%, I'm going to put 20% in. It drops 30%, I'm going to put another 40% in. Okay, we're at 50% down. I'm going to go all in. Because how often do we drop below 50%? There's a lot of different things. I know some people, when they're young, they like to get into these ETFs, these income ETFs, because they love to have the income coming in, and they like to feed other stocks with that. I've seen people doing that. I don't know whether or not it's a bad strategy. I'm not young anymore. I never got into dividend stocks when I was young. Some people need to see that income coming in every single month to stay motivated, but not everybody's like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's okay as a young person, but don't make it your core, because they're designed for income. They're designed to bring in income and for you to spend it in retirement. It's not for growth. Even though some have done better than others, it's mainly for income generation.
I guess my question is why the growth even matter? If let's say he had an average of 7%, that's not chump change. You know what I mean?
Unless
the overall stock market should, destroy that, but
right. And it probably will.
Yeah. But there's going to be some years where it's negative, right? So, but on average, it should destroy it. But it's not chump change. I mean, throw inflation in there, maybe it's 5%. I don't know. It's not going to be. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's crap. I just lost it. Damn it, Dave.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I mean, just saying, it's nice to see that income coming in every month. I get that, right? But for the most part, if you're young, you got decades ahead of you, most likely, and you want to use ETFs, go freaking buy VTI and forget about it, man, for a while.
I agree. It is slow. I'm not going to lie. It's slow. It's going to be discouraging. It's going to take some grit to get through it. Right, because it's so slow. Honestly, the dividends that come out of VTI or VU are they're not even really a dividend, really, in my opinion. But yeah, but there's are people like go to the Dividend Bull channel, right? Like they're doing ETFs, and they got a wise left. So it's hard I really can't comment much on that because I kind of skipped that whole phase. You know what I mean? I had money at that point when I kind of started this to begin with, right? So I really I want to be able to relate to those people, but I'm having a hard time relating to them, what they're going through. And I catch little things here and there, but everybody's different too.
Like I know I cover a lot of these ETFs and I only own one of them, right? I own NUSI, and it's extremely a small position to me, right? It's like I got like 200 shares or something like that. And it's like, I see the dividend come in and it's like $33 or something. And I'm like, what is this? Right? Why?
You could probably destroy it in just one options play,
Yeah, what am I going to do with this $33? It just gets reinvested. I mean, but I'm not using it. I'm using it as a cash position. I don't recommend anybody's doing that, but I'm using it as a cash position.
Right.
But it's like, it's not that, I got 200 shares of it and it's only throwing off, $33 a month. It's like, is that really going to make a huge impact in your overall investing, right?
Well, for somebody that's 18 years old, that would be a lot of money, right? Coming in every month. Yeah. like I said, everybody's different though. There's some people that
Yeah.
can stick with an ETF and just put in money every single week or every month, right? But not everybody has the intestinal fortitude to do that, right?
It took me a long time
You
to
used to chase yield.
I used to chase yield like crazy. It took me until I found options to where everything in the portfolio got simplified down and I was able to just ignore it and not mess with it.
When
Just
I
feed
first met Gerry, he was doing REITs with like plus 10%.
it.
Plus 10% freaking yields,
I got
So I'm like
absolutely.
looking at him like, I'm like,
You want to talk
ooh.
about destroyed? I got destroyed in March 2020.
Yeah, you did. Because the stuff you were in, I mean, number one, REITs just got hit. They got hit really bad during the pandemic, but a lot of them just went away too. Yeah, this is an interesting discussion here. I do have a large portion of my portfolio, and there's going to be even a larger portion when I retire in income ETFs. But I do realize that I need to have more solid plays in there too. And because I don't know, it's a mental thing for me, transitioning from making money to using money. It's a mental thing. So for me, I want to have an income to start out with. And then eventually, like I always say, my portfolio will be too big to fail. And then more money will start getting shuffled off into VTI, VU, or other solid plays, right? So, yeah, I don't know. How recall you have down? Yeah, I've never used this strategy
That's kind of the
myself.
same. It's
Is that exactly the same?
yeah, pretty much.
Just to comment on your brother thing, your brother portion, if he sold out, he's going to lose money. And it doesn't matter if he was in these ETFs or not. If the market went down 40%, everything that he was in and he sold, he would have lost money. Don't sell when the market drops 40%. Buy. Let's see here. The bigger issue is none of these income ETFs have beaten the S&P 500 in the long run. I don't care about that, honestly. I don't think that's an issue at all. That's a trade-off of being an income ETF, right? The issue is trying to find one that can keep up with the market, but has a good overall, doesn't decline too much. I mean, all those pros and cons, right? You got to weigh them all, but
Yeah,
none of
I
them are going
mean,
to beat the market.
if you're in it for income, it's kind of like the point I made in my income fund video is you want to find a combination of things that preserve capital while throwing off income, right?
Yeah.
The preserving capital part is important. You would also like it to at least grow a little bit.
BST actually did, though, right?
BST did, absolutely it did.
Destroyed, actually.
Destroyed, yeah. I think it was good, but QILD is kind of a
It's dodgy.
If you're gonna invest in a QILD as a retirement fund, you definitely want portions of that distribution to be reinvested.
Devo might be an exception here. You might be able to at least keep up with the market with that one.
Yeah,
as well.
Jeppy too.
Jeppy as well.
Somewhat.
So, I mean, Thomas makes a good point. I mean, you don't expect to beat the market in income ETF.
You're not going to beat.
I don't even know if BST is really an income ETF either. I mean, it's a CEF, but is it really an income fund?
Yeah, actually, that's
an income fund.
That's its objective, is to generate income first.
There's an exception right there, because it's got a really high CAGR on it too, which is not very common to find.
I wouldn't expect that CAGR to be on a schedule.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect like, oh, it's a new year, they're going to raise it. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah, I think Devo might be the only exception there, but yeah. You looking for it to be an aristocrat, you mean?
Yeah, it's not going to be. Yeah.
It's going to be a king soon, Gerry. I keep the income funds less than 1% of my total portfolio. I still heavily buy VTI. Yeah. It just depends. Like, for me, it's a mental thing. Like, the amount of money I would have invested in VTI, VU, I wouldn't even feel comfortable retiring. But at the same time, I'm not going to work until I'm 55 years old to have $4 million or something, right? Like it's just that's not worth my time. I don't want to work that long, so I would rather they go this route. So it's not for everybody, maybe though. I think the biggest key in retirement and early retirement is actually be able to be flexible. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, shit, skipped big time on me. Good to know that there is no perfect ETF or stock that exists. Ah, all good. It's trying to pull one on us, pull a fast one on us. I disagree with that. We're talking about income ETFs here. I think a perfect ETF exists, but it has to look. I mean, what's your objectives, right? For the
There's a
income
perfect
ETF,
one.
so
I think there's a perfect one for everybody.
yeah. Yeah, I think. Well, we are specifically talking about income ETFs, though. Yeah, Devo's pretty good. I like Devo. Devo will be getting built out more. It's honestly pretty close to owning just a large cap dividend portfolio. Same darn thing in a way. And they're just running cover calls for you. It's got a CAGR. It should grow because they're doing. I think they're doing out of the money cover calls, right? So it should, you know, it should perform well too. The only caveat maybe is you're paying an expense ratio. There you go. Go to, yeah. I would continue to build out Devo. A lot of the VYM will be going into there. Let's see here. When you say BP, is that the same as maintenance margin? Yeah, well, yeah, it's the same thing kind of, but
Maintenance
I
margin
said,
divided by net lick.
yeah. Buying power. I think it sometimes gets used synonymously, but buying power percentage or buying power. If it says maintenance margin to me, sometimes I use the same word, but that's what I mean is maintenance margin. He's actually talking about the buying power percentage.
Yeah.
No country got old men or heat.
You talking about Willis?
What you talking about, Willis? No Country. That's a movie. It's a good movie, actually. Let's see here. Dave, you live in Denver. Ever hear of the Yeah, I've never been to one, though. I've never been to a game. Well, James, I grew up in California. California. I grew up in California. All right. Hockey is not big there at all. Okay. Now, here, it's questionable here, too. Because honestly, I don't ever see anybody play hockey outdoors here. We have 330 days of sun here a year. Bet you didn't know that, anybody. Don't move here just because of that either. Let's see here. No Country for Old Men. That's a movie.
Country.
Oh, he's talking about she or he. Heat's a great movie. Heat's one of my favorite movies, actually. Yeah. No Country's a good movie too. I probably pick Heat over No Country though. Let's see. Did you give us more money here? Yeah, jeez, appreciate that because I didn't even see it come across. I think we're behind. That's the problem here. I work in tech. I'm about to be able to cash in some options. I'm trying to decide how to split between BST, JEPI, and individual dividend stocks, part one. God, that's one of those questions that it's like we can't answer because it's like a personal thing, I don't know how old you are either.
He's going to continue down below.
Yeah. Let me look down there. VTI. I thought he had ITOT.
I think he got out of that one.
Did you get out of that?
I think.
VTI, View, NUSI. Yeah, that's a pretty good mix, actually. I also have a solid income, but I want to be able to transition to passive income stream in the future. But we don't know how far. Well, okay.
One more down.
Yeah, one more down. 41. Trying to balance between ETFs, funds, and industry. Depends when you want to fire too, right? Or maybe you're not even chasing fire. I'm nervous about being too risky. REITs. God. Gerry, you want to take a stab at that one?
I'm no longer a fan of individual stocks. I, I own a few. Some were forced on me via cash secured puts, but typically it's just way more efficient, extremely more uh, easier to handle in ETF form. It just, to me, it is. You can have an excellent diverse mix of ETFs. Um, you can have a total market ETF. You can have a dividend growth ETF. You can have a income focused ETF. You can have a REIT ETF, like you say REITs there, and you can be extremely diversified with just one ETF, right? So
PTI.
yeah, trying to sit here and manage a portfolio of you know 30, 40 stocks is not fun.
Uh, this isn't this. I think this. If you ask 100 people, they're getting 100 different answers on this question.
True.
So number one, we don't know what your time frame is. We know your age here. We don't know what your time frame is. We don't know if you want to fire, when you want to retire, what your income is, whether you're married, you have kids, little shits. I didn't say that, but I just don't have any kids, right? I don't have a wife. Like that doesn't mean I don't want that. It's just it didn't work out for me. So I'm in a different boat than some people. I don't know. I think REITs are kind of questionable, right? Because a lot of these ETFs don't have a lot of REITs in them. It's a very small portion.
Right.
So I'm okay with the individual stocks if it's select stocks. Like you really believe in this stock, maybe it's a very small portion of your portfolio, and you're like, okay, I believe in Snow, right? I believe in Fastly, which I don't know if I do, but I believe in Wish. I believe in Palantir. I'm gonna go buy one. I'm gonna go buy a position in there, right? The REITs are a separate one. I think you would own those separately, just because a lot of the ETFs don't have it in there, like probably the REIT that you want, maybe. But what REIT do you like? I guess that's the question. Realty Income. There you go. Good. But so to answer that, so the other question here,
It's hard.
I
It's
don't think
hard.
anybody can answer this question because we don't
No,
know your time frame. We don't know what your goals are. We don't know how much
I
money
mean,
you want in retirement, when you're going to retire, you're going to fire,
even
any of
if we
that.
knew that,
Yeah, it's true. It's a personal decision. Um, I've done individual stocks. I'm not transitioning out yet, but I have been trimming those positions out slowly, and then also trimming some of the gains out as well, the long-term capital gains out as well. Because like I said, I'm transitioning to retirement next year. I need the income. I want the income, and I think that's another misnomer or whatever. Is that the right word? To that you need to actually have dividend income to survive in retirement. That's not true. You
yeah,
could have everything in VTI, and sell off $40,000 in capital gains every year and survive that way too. That might actually be a better way to go than the dividend route. I don't know, you know. So I think either way would work. It's just you don't hear a lot of people talking about that way, except for like maybe J.L. Collins or maybe Go Curry Cracker, Good of Root of Good, or whatever. They might go that route instead of the dividend route. Matter of fact, I think it might have been Go Curry Cracker or one of those guys that they tried to transition out of dividends because the dividends was pushing them above the out of that lowest tax bracket where you get taxed at 0%, right?
yeah.
So
There's
capital
some there's
gains,
some
you can control that.
there's some tax things. Yeah, with VTI, you can say, oh, you know what? I can only take out X amount to stay under this level, right?
Yeah,
But
if
then
you're
there's
single at
also
50 grand or something with the
yeah,
standard deduction.
but there's also QILD that, if done right, could be tax-free income for life. So
But would you throw your whole portfolio in it?
no,
Well, you might not get enough income. I don't know. I think that's such a hard question to answer.
yeah,
I think it's just going to be. I went the dividend route, the individual stocks, and now I'm transitioning out of those a little bit. I mean, I'll probably never get rid of them completely, but because I'd like to be able to have the option to add just certain things or whatever in there too on a market decline. But yeah, there's gonna be something else I said. I lost my brain of thought, Gerry, just like you did. Nervous being too risky. Yeah, if you're in solid companies, solid large cap companies, I don't think it's really too risky. I would say if you're going to go that route, then make sure you're, allocated correctly in the right sectors, have the right, position sizing for that sector, not go all in just one sector. But yeah, I don't know. Geez. I wonder how Thomas would answer that question. Those questions. Word another way, there's no point where selling shares of VTI wouldn't have produced more income than income ETFs. What does he mean here, Gerry?
I don't know. I think if you go the VTI only route, I think you need to have a lot more money in it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
A lot more.
Yeah. For sure. But as I was saying earlier, if you're married, you have almost 100K of income and pay zero. So that's where VTI would shine because you can control your income that way, right? Like a lot of people that are in these things, they'll just take off beginning of the year, whatever, 40 grand, boom, out, pay 0%. It's all long-term capital gains. They're below that certain tax bracket. They don't have to worry about the dividend income that they can't control really, unless they get in and out of certain positions or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. You're right though. Even with individual stocks, you're in the same boat. You're gonna have a boatload of money. $2.5 million, and I would say probably to get you a decent amount of chunk of change. But the problem is a lot of that's going to be on the retirement side too. So you can't even really touch it. You're going to SEP it. You're going to Roth convert it and wait. There's strategies to get the money out, but I don't know if the way I'm going is the right way either, though. You know what I mean? It is for me right now because I can always change the strategy.
Yeah.
As a result, in a higher overall net worth. I agree. I don't until people get to the boat that I'm in, right? They don't understand the growth, the capital preservation aspect of it, right? I run into this all the time in the comments section. People that are in the growth phase, they have never transitioned into the capital preservation phase. Kevin O'Leary talked about it, right? I don't care about growth. I don't care about it, zero, right? It's not on the back of my mind yet. Now, it's something I might care about down the road. I'm not saying Thomas is wrong or right here. He's absolutely right when it comes to the growth aspect of a VTI, for sure. But maybe he's not in the capital preservation mode yet, right? I've read that all the time in the comment sections when I put a video out about people that haven't transitioned to the capital preservation mode. And Gerry might understand. The more money you get, the more you want to hold on to it. It's hard to explain, but I don't know. Until you get there, you just won't understand it. I don't know if there's anybody in here that understands. Gerry, your account's grown, right?
Yeah,
and keeping on that holding on that money than you did a year ago.
It's different. It's completely different. I was a lot more free. I felt a lot more free to do whatever I wanted to do at 25 grand than at 100. Because at 100, I'm like, do I really start questioning the moves that I'm doing? Right. And then, especially when you make a mistake, it's like, oh, fudge, right? It's like, why did I do that? Where back in 25 grand land, it was like, okay, I'm going to be aggressive because I want to grow this thing, and okay, I'm going to take some bumps along the way, no big deal. And when you get to the bigger portion, it's like, oh, I did that, right? It's different.
Can you imagine having $500,000 or $1 million doing options, right? There's no really reason to be a thumper aggressive or Randy aggressive. Why do you need to be? I mean, I get why Randy was doing it, right? Like he was in a different boat, but I'll be safer than I am now. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the key here too. Like we didn't really mention it, but options is going to be a big part of the money that we're making. I don't need it in retirement, but it will be a big part of the amount of money I'm making every year in retirement. I don't need it though, right? I have coma money that will take care of every bill I need. I'll be able to live a good life just on that alone. But why not have options going too, where I can just shit out of Tesla, right? Let's see here. As a result, higher net worth. I completely 100% agree. Right now in M1 Finance, I have 26% of all my total portfolio flagged for JEPI and BST. The rest are dividend out, rest of cash, champions, challengers, the CCCs. Let me know if I think that actually sounds pretty good. What do you think, Gerry?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
I
that.
think it's a good mix. I mean, like I said, we don't know when you want to fire or if you're even chasing fire, but 41.
Some of those dividend challengers are kind of. Here's the problem I have with dividend aristocrats. Okay, they don't grow very much. They're very seasoned companies, so they're going to be more
But they're
stable.
solid though. They're not going to go down as much. Probably
they're stable. They're solid.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for, growth, that's probably not where it's at.
I don't know, Gerry. I got some major growth in some of my individual stocks.
Well, sure. Yeah, we've had a big run up right now. But I mean, exactly. If you're talking, long term, usually, Coca-Cola has gone nowhere except for the dividend, right?
Pepsi. It's all about Pepsi.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
I think it's hit and miss. Like you have to play there's sector rotation and all that, the whole game, beta rotation, whatever. But I don't know. BST's good, JEPI's good, 26% in there. Challengers, what's that, 10 years and above or something?
Yeah, some of the challengers are iffy.
Yeah, I agree. Champions. You gotta look at PEY. Why not get an SCHD?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. SCHD would, give you good growth. It'll give you good CAGR.
Decent yield.
Get you exposure to 100 freaking companies. You got JEPI and BST throwing off income and exposure to tech.
Yeah. I don't know. You could always put individual positions in there too. Just because you have SCHD in there doesn't mean you can't get an individual position that's, sold off 10, 15% because of some, stupid news or something like that. You could add the position in there, right? I don't know. I think I'd probably go the SCHD route. Yeah. Over to challenge. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I actually like the allocation, but I think I don't know if I would be getting into champions challengers myself personally, but it's a stock picker's nightmare at that point. My brother did not sell during 2018 downturn and kept investing monthly in 2019, but stopped investing my new money after. He says he's not fully recovered his money yet. Really? He should have.
Could be QILD. Could be QILD.
Well, yeah, QILD makes sense, but
if he's not reinvesting it, then it's probably QILD. He'd probably be in much better shape if he continued investing new money after March 2020.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense because I was like, otherwise I was flabbergasted. Was it flabbergasted? I was perplexed because it would not make any sense if he was still down and he was in like some other regular stock or whatever. Like it must have been a really bad stock.
QILD is just kind of it's kind of flat
Well, they
over
did
that time.
change their strategy recently too, though. So that kind of throws a wrench in the mix. If you aren't following GW, you're going to fail as an investor. Put his link in there, or is that his link?
I think that's it.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Matt.
Thanks, Maddie.
I agree. I actually, I went and looked at. Look, I was Seeking Alpha. Well, the funny thing is Seeking Alpha almost trumps. It almost trumps YouTube videos as like the Holy Grail, which is kind of funny because if you think about it, it's just like people like Gerry and I that are writing articles. You know what I mean? But people look at that as the Holy Grail over YouTube videos. You know what I mean?
They think the Seeking Alphas for some reason are professionals.
Exactly.
And they're not. They're just Joe Blow
It's
schmo.
Actually funny because the article that I watched today was on Devo, and I'm like, okay, I own Devo. Let's see what this guy says, And honestly, it was a pretty good article. But I was looked down the comments because the comments are the best, I own this, and the guy owned HNDL, and I'm like, all right, what's this HNDL thing? Like he had all the other ETFs I had, And I go there. I'm like, yeah, let's see if Gerry did a video on it. Sure enough, Gerry's got a video on it, and I watched the whole thing. So, and it's a piece of crap ETF, in my opinion. So,
I'd agree with that.
If you're near retirement, funds like Devo, Jeppy, Nusi, execs, it makes some sense. If you're young and have a long, yeah, I completely agree. 50% SPY, 50% Q. Yeah, I agree. Even VTI is, you could go a different route. You could go just the three indexes, like three major indexes. That way you can adjust the percentages if you want. Like VTI might cover. Actually, VTI covers. Is this small cap? I think it's down like 1 billion, isn't it? VO doesn't. It's down to like high like 800, 900 million market cap. I think VTI is. Maybe 1 billion, somewhere around there.
They go that low?
A lot of good shit, a lot of crap shit too, but crap shit.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of those index ETFs is you own the best and you own the worst.
Yeah, but that's the kind of the good thing about it because you'll get one of those crap
and
pieces
then you get
right, that'll go
you
way
get the
up.
middle.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but you could go this route, SPY, QQQ. I actually kind of maybe would like that option myself better than doing VTI because that way you can control the percentages and modify them if you want. When there is tech got hurt, but SPY didn't, right? You could take some of that money out of SPY and throw it into QQQ, right? And that's kind of the strategy that we've all talked about. Nusi doesn't drop as much. Guess what? Some of that money will be coming out of Nusi and going to something that dropped more, right? That's my plan anyway. I agree. Heat was a badass movie. If you're a big Robert De Niro and what's the other guy's name, Gerry?
Oh, now I remember.
And how's the name of the other guy? Jeez,
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. If you're a fan of them, they've only been in 2 movies together, Godfather 2 and Heat, and there was another movie I think they were together recently too, though, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, classic. Okay, what's BM Easy? You heard that one, Gerry?
Yeah, but off the top of my head, there's a BME. It's kind of like the same thing as BST and BSTZ, but there's a BME and then there's a BMEZ. So, but I'm not off the top of my head. I think it's healthcare, but let me look real quick.
For Matthew,
healthcare.
Matthew, I definitely highly recommend learning the options, selling premium. That could definitely get you where you want to go faster. And it's a nice tool to have in your tool shed in retirement as well. Let's see here. If you are a PMCC, if you have a PMCC that appreciated quite a bit, when will be a good time to sell? Bot KO, yeah, with reaching. So my thing is with a PMCC is I like to try to sell when they're both in the green, which doesn't happen very often for me. But as long as that long leap outweighs the covered call, then and you can get out with a profit. Honestly, I get out of profit. I'm up 50%. I would have taken the profit. You know what I mean? That's me though.
It's hard for me to hold on to leaps. Because I see, if I see like CCL, for instance,
That's why
it went up 20%, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I took my $100 and ran.
Let me look, because I don't think mine went up much past that either. Let me see CCL. Where was that thing? I held that CCL 14 days, 13%. 13%, Jerry. It was $420 though. Yeah. Would you have left that $420 on just to try to get more out of it?
No.
No, because look at CCL went right up to above 23 like I was going to go, and I'm like, it's going to sell off at that point. It's not going to make it above that 200 period moving average, and sure enough, it sold off, right? There you go. I bought another one and back in below where I was originally at anyway. Another decade. Wow.
You must love what you do.
Well, I love what I do too, but not that much. I do like having a portfolio of income available to retire. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I never really ran into that, but
good spot to be.
Yeah, stick a fork in me. I'm done. That's awesome to hear. Come join the Discord. The link is down in the description. Like I said, pick up some options. Have a small portion of your portfolio set aside. Learn options, and that'll get you to your goal faster too. Get behind here. Yeah, I'd like to be financially free in about 15 years. Okay. Fully transition from salary income. Yeah, you have a long way to go then. I mean, it'll go by fast, don't get me wrong, but 15 years is a lot of time. I'm particularly interested in doing covered calls. Yeah, that's a good place to start, covered calls, which makes the whole sense of, but with the individual positions he has on, I guess, the dividend. I mean,
he's not.
There's a flaw with that strategy, though.
He's not interested.
He's not. Okay, thanks. Thanks for clarifying that, Jerry. Good. Learn, just sell premium. Covered calls, it only works really good on the bigger stocks. But even on some of those, the premium is just not a lot. And then you're going to cap your upside. And it's like, let's let Devo do it. I just started investing this year outside of my 401k. Still single, no kids. A life of work for better and worse. Okay. It's in a similar boat that I was in.
Yeah, sounds like it. If you want to retire early, I'd say don't max out your 401k anymore. Probably.
Or depends, because I don't know how much money he makes, right?
Unless you can.
If he makes a lot of money, then it makes sense to maybe max it out, because you're going to have so much money you're putting off outside of the 401k anyway, right? Then you need that tax advantage. You're going to get pushed up above that NIET tax, the Obamacare tax. You're going to start getting taxed way more money than you ever been taxed before. So, yeah. But he's also said 15 years. He can be over 55, 56. So doesn't really even need the money necessarily on the brokerage side per se.
If he's going to put it in the brokerage side, though, this is an argument to be in QQQ and SPY. Because if you don't, that dividend income coming in a brokerage account, do you really need it?
It's super low. Yeah.
It's going to be, because he's talking about being in JEPI and all this other stuff. That's going to, you got to look at your tax situation there.
Yeah. For the longest time, I never maxed my 401k out. And because I knew I wanted to retire early. This is 6 years ago. I'm like, I'm stick a fork in me. I'm done. I literally came so close to quitting. I was going to cash out my 401k, take the hit, take the 30%, the penalty, all that crap. I was just done. And I stuck it out somehow or another. And then the last 3 or 4 years, I've been maxing the 401k out because I've been getting killed in taxes. So, but I have enough money outside of my 401k to survive anyway, right? There's so much money outside, like, 2/3 of my money is outside the 401k, or more than 2/3, right? Way more than 2/3, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, so you got a good mix there.
Thomas is making my argument here.
Thomas is a smart dude. Sounds like you're doing great, man. Enjoy that freedom. If you have 15 years, yeah, he's got quite a ways to go. I just don't understand why he wants to work till he's 55, 56, unless he's got a pension or something. But you may want to consider, yeah. I think SCHD is a better, Devo and SCHD are a better option, I think. I'd probably go that route over the individual stocks. I love me some 3M. Hey, it's in the ETF. It's probably in multiple ETFs you'd own. So you can still like it. He's got SCHD. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's not the only one. DGRO. You like that one too, Gerry?
I own it.
You own it? Okay. Yeah. Not a. Oh, by the way, if you got QQQQ, put in a QQQQM in your M1 Finance.
Yes, if you're going to hold an especially at M1 Finance, I would definitely switch over to QQQM. It's going to be a lower expense ratio. And since M1 Finance, you can't sell options anyway, there's no need to be in QQQ.
So put it in QQQM if you're an M1. Really, any other brokerage, really.
Unless you wanted to sell options, QQQ is better. Is better in the
covered calls
game. Yeah,
that's a good point. What's going on, Mona? Good vibes. No elbow cough today? Just kidding. Let's see here. Join the Discord. Don't make it weird. Yeah. Did you create a new invite for that, or did you use the invite from down below, Matt? Let's see. Listen, Matthew and Thomas join the. Well, is Thomas already in there? Or no, I don't know.
I don't think so.
What do you mean we teach for free? Thomas would school us all.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas would school us all. Yeah.
We have some great people in there that have a lot of knowledge, though. Not even less. We don't really share that. We don't really share that much in the Discord. There's a couple other people that are very good teachers in there.
There's a Thursday night chat in there. You don't have to show your face, although it would be nice if everybody did. But you can go in there. You can ask questions. You can listen. You can lurk. A lot of lurkers. But where else does community like that to get together on a Thursday night and just talk options, right? And ask strategy, how to get out of dangerous situations, and I mean, yeah.
Now,
knock them off a ledge.
We'll say that options only go on for about an hour. And if people run out of questions, the conversation goes off into wherever it wants to go off to.
Yeah. And Gerry's normally the one that lets it veer off. If you like Heat, check out Black Rain. I'll watch it tonight if I can find it on any of the, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. You know what my issue is with those, Gerry? I always forget which one I watched an episode on or watched a movie on.
Yeah.
So the next day I go to watch the rest of it or something like that. I never know which one it was on. That's my biggest issue. And they don't make it really easy to find out which is stuff you already watched either. I'll show you how to lose money. Nah, that's not true. Maybe earlier the year it was. Sweet. All right, good. Go in the general, go in there, ask questions. You don't like it, you can always leave. This is not charging anybody or anything in there. Let's see here. I only sell puts on TQQQ and companies I want to own. I stay away from colonies. I think that's okay advice, but I think it's if you're just starting out, I think it's good advice. But there's stocks. I don't want to own a lot, like 99% of the stocks I have freaking options on. You know what I mean? But I think it's good sound advice for people starting out to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't go off into EV companies that are just volatile. Go off into something that something that you can get some practice on, and not something that could tank 50% on some bad news out of China, and then you're stuck holding the bag.
Don't get into Neo. Don't get into DD. Don't get into Luckin. Don't get into any of that junk. Okay, stay with. Yeah, this is sound advice for you starting out for sure. I just don't necessarily agree with the companies want to own because I don't really like a lot of the stuff I do options on. Sometimes I don't want to own. Let's see here. What's up, boys? What's going on, Cody? See here. Join the Discord. Don't be weird. You said that twice. Yes, you're right. Yes, you guys are right. I'm potentially taking him on a larger tax burden. Yeah, really does, and enjoy knowing that can. Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, well, I take that back. You know, really. So I've been in retirement planning for like the last 3 years. Okay, it takes a long time to move stuff around in a tax efficient way, and I did it. And even then, I didn't even do a good job, right? Because you don't want to sell everything in the same year, right? You need to split it up. Like I had a couple houses rentals I needed to get rid of. You don't want to sell them the same year. You know, that's capital gains galore. So if you can, split it up. So this here, try it like right before you retire, say like 3 to 5 years before you retire, start moving assets around in a tax efficient way and prepare yourself then. Because if you do it all at once, like right before you retire, it's going to be a tax hit.
Big time.
Unless you
Potentially.
have some kids and get married. And she has no income. Let's see. Hey, I have a lot to learn. No, I think you're in the right group. You're asking the right questions. You're doing fine. Definitely join the Discord. Thanks for the invite. We can all learn a lot from you. Yeah, for sure. That's cool, Thomas. I thought I don't know. I thought we've always invited him along the way. Let's see. I'll try to dip my toes in options. Yeah, there's a lot of people doing that. So we can start out with just a CSP or a covered call or something like that. Just get easy, learn the mechanics and all that stuff.
Yeah, just make sure it's a toe. Don't go ankle deep yet.
Pinky toe. Rebecca would say it's pinks. Pinks. Passive income, no kids.
Yeah.
That's what she likes to call it. She's a pinks. Passive income, no kids. Black Rain, okay, I'll look it on Amazon Prime. Let's see here. What's your delta and DT on TQQQ? Do you select return? Do you close? So I have a TQ. What I have on right now? I normally always have one on. I don't think I have any TQQs on right now.
I have
Because
one
honestly,
way out to December.
I kind of use TQQQ myself on big crash days. That's how I've been using it. So we're down 700, 500 points, something like that. That's when I'll open up some. But the thing is we used to get down to like 45, 35, 45, you know. You can't really get down below 90 right now and really make any money unless you're way out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fire position. Let's see here. I have options everywhere on TQQ. I generally go 10 delta everywhere, but sometimes go 15. I have August, October's, yeah. He's definitely different.
Yeah, Matt does it all.
He's jack of all trades, master of none. Sometimes I go 115s. Jeez. Remember, folks, TQQQ is triple leverage, so a 10% in the market's a 30% drop in TQQQ. So take that into account when you do your strikes. Can you guys drop another Discord invite link? Yeah, All Good's got it right there. The above one is coming up and valid. Yeah. This one work? That All Good put in there? Let's expire on TQQ or close. Depends. How I've been using it is the market drops, I get into them. The market recovers, I get out of them. But I do plan on buying TQQs, but it's so hard to explain for me because it's such a slow bleeder, Gerry.
It is. It's I got one out to December I've had on. I just kind of forget about it. I just let it.
It's slow though, right?
Especially farther out, it's really slow. You got to really have a good run up in the market to really take those off. But I just let them just let them bake. I think I got like, I don't know, 300 something bucks for the Decembers. And, you know, if they get to $100, I'll probably take them off.
Let's see here. Try it. Yeah. Let us know if that didn't work. I think the one down in my description doesn't expire, and it should be going to. I'll have to check it, but it should be going to a text channel that still exists. Let's see here. Generally, I close at 70%. Yeah, that's a good rule of thumb. I lied. I have 80s. Got a signed option on CHPT. Is that ChargePoint?
Yeah, I believe so.
Why do you mess with that junk? Cody, why do you mess with the junk? It's up 100. Well, it's down 43% this year. That's because it was a big SPAC thing back in the day, like last year or something. You're going to run into the same thing investing Sensei ran into, where everything's below his cost basis, can't make any money. You're just like the money's dead money, and you're going to be selling coal below your cost basis. So I wouldn't touch, the whole buy right strategy or wheel strategy is flawed if you're using crappy stocks.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks for joining. Let's see here. Cody has to keep his subscribers. I don't know if that's true. Number one, though, I mean, you probably shouldn't be passing that information on to the subscribers, because they're going to see that you're screwed and then can't get out of it. They're going to get discouraged on doing options. Let's see here. Yeah, let's call it here. It's been almost 2 hours and a half. So we're down at the bottom anyway. So we appreciate everybody. It's been a very fun live stream. Touched on some interesting stuff. Great questions. Like I said, you want more information about options, go to the Discord. It's free. Take a look around. You don't like it, you can always leave. We're not gonna force you to stay or anything like that. It's free. Thursday night there's a chat, text chat, a voice chat, video, whatever. You ask questions in there. So we enjoy the stream, the income ETF aspect of it. Markets are down 150 right now. So we're down basically 0.5%. RUT, the Russell's getting killed the most out of everything, of course. So sorry, Gerry. California Average Roll. No, that's CHP.
Yeah, got to drop the T.
Yeah, that's CHP. Chips. So
Poncherelli.
Poncherellis, folks. All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see you. Everybody have a great week.